Hi guys, welcome to Live with Vi, and if you like what you see, subscribe. Hey guys, happy Monday. So like I was saying, we're going to talk about what energy immunity is today. We're going to talk about that with my Reiki guru, my Reiki teacher, Rukmini Punus. She is a Reiki grandmaster. She makes all these amazing smudges that you guys see me smudge every day. She's online. I'm gonna send her a just waiting for Rukmini to join us, and we're gonna talk about something which I think is very important. I've been hello.
Hi, how nice to see you.
So
How are
nice to
you?
see. I'm very good. How are you?
Excellent. Happy
You're
to be
glowing.
here.
I know. I'm so excited,
I
guys.
know, so am I.
After 2 months, again we are doing a live. It's
I know it's
exactly
been
two
two
months.
months, right? Yeah, it's
Exactly
been
2 months. But this is, you agreed, right? This is the need of the hour. This is the conversation we should be having, right? With ourselves and with everyone else.
absolutely. I mean, especially with the lockdown and COVID and what that has done to the entire world in the last 5 months, we definitely need to be talking about energetic immunity, right? And how we can build our energy boundaries so that we don't sort of pick up things from that don't belong to us, from
Correct.
our environment or other people. Yeah.
So, Rux, I know you don't like doing this too much, but can you talk a little bit about what you do, what you've studied? You're a Reiki grandmaster. About white horse healing. How just a little bit, till it's 7 o'clock, so then we give people a fair enough chance to log in.
Sure. I mean, so I started my journey with Reiki and I became a Reiki grandmaster and a teacher over the years. And Reiki was just one of the many modalities. It was the most important one. It was life changing in many, many ways. But, I learned a variety of different ways to energetically heal people, teach people how to heal themselves. That's always been the mantra, actually, to, make people fully empowered and not dependent on
Correct.
me in any way. As you know, you've been a student of mine for many years, and you know that the idea is that you need to be able to heal yourself.
Absolutely.
And White Horse was sort of an enterprise I started as a result of this, because me and many of my senior students and many of my senior healers would find it really difficult. We'd spend a lot of time clearing the energy of people, clearing spaces. And I actually once was talking to one of my most senior Reiki masters, and I was saying, I wish I had a spray which I could just spray around a
You've said
room
that
and it
so
would
many
clear.
times. Yes.
Yeah, and it would clear the energy of the space, or a person's aura, and they don't need to be dependent on us healers to come and clear themselves. They can just use this. And that led to me getting really curious about herbology, Ayurveda, and different cultures across the world, and how they have used herbs and plants and resins and barks and trees to sort of create ways to clear their own
Hmm.
energy and their spaces, right? And then I went and studied with a shaman in New York, in upstate New York. He studies in the Mexican tradition of shamanism, where I learned a lot about plants and their healing abilities. And if you look at it, actually, Vaibhavi, across cultures, whether it's
Yeah.
Turkey, Philippines, India, we've always used dhoop and
Always.
arsi and all of that to
Agarbatti,
clear the
dhoop,
energy of a
even
space or a
oils,
person.
even oils.
Essential oils also, all the time. Yeah. So that's how White Horse was born, as a way to empower people, and so that they could take their their energetic boundaries into their own hands and not be vulnerable to other people, actually.
So that's why this topic is very relevant, right, Rukmini, because it is about your energy immunity.
Right, absolutely.
Can
So
should I just ask if they all can hear us? Should we, guys? Can we get a sound check really quickly? I can hear you very clearly. Rooks, you can hear me.
very well, yes.
Okay, so I think we should be good to go. It's 7:01. We can start. So,
Okay.
Rooks, I've been bugging you since a long time. But what exactly is energy immunity and why is it important currently in the time that we are living in? You know?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great question. The starting point is actually understanding. So, what is energetic immunity? It's a way of protecting yourself
Mm-hmm.
and, energetically, basically, from feeling anxious, low, depressed, drained, sapped of energy because of these unusual times of COVID and the lockdown, right? So, to understand what that means, you've got to understand a
Yeah.
little bit about your energy body. So, we're not just this, this physical body. We have this subtle body around us, which I think many people know. It's called the aura, which is the
Aura.
biomagnetic, electromagnetic field around us. And of course, now Princeton University, Berkeley, all of them have, done
Verified it.
studies to be able to
Yes.
measure it, right? Measure our energy fields and our chakras and auras. And yeah, so our aura is a 21-foot field around us, okay? And
Right.
this is 21 feet for a normal person, not even someone who's a yogi or a daily meditator. For that kind of a person, it's double. It's like 45
Right.
feet wide. And of course, people say that Sai Baba of Shirdi, his energy field used to go for
Yes.
like half the country. People could feel his energy,
Feel his
right? So,
energy. Yes.
so how your energy field is has a lot to do with your state of mind. So, for
Okay.
example, our auras are porous. They're like sponges, okay?
Hmm.
And it has to be because the purpose of an aura is to gauge your environment and immediately transfer that, messaging to the subconscious mind to tell you whether
Correct.
there's danger or not.
Or
I
not. Like
often explain
intuitively,
this.
right?
Yes, I explain this even to students in my Reiki classes, saying that, a deer in a forest, all animals have auras as well, right? A deer in a forest could be grazing on grass and immediately
Immediately.
knows when a lion is, sort of creeping towards it because its energetic boundary, its aura has sensed the lion, picked it up and transmitted that message to the brain of the deer,
Right.
giving the deer the time to flee, right? Similarly, with human beings, when we enter a space, it could be a restaurant, a friend's house, a house that we're considering buying, it could be even a friend, like a person we just meet or someone we know. When we sit next to them or when we enter a space, we just have like a
A
positive feeling
feeling.
about a
Feeling.
feeling about the
Vibes.
space. Yeah, or vibes, absolutely, right? So you could, for example, walk into a restaurant and feel really light and happy, or you
Yeah.
could walk into a space and say, I just don't like it, and not be able to logically explain what it is about that space that turned you off. But basically, your aura is picking up the energetic energy of that space, the vibration of that space, the frequency of that space, and transmitting it to you if it's very low because it's had a lot of, fights or depression or unhappy people, or, there isn't enough sunlight and air, the elements play a huge part also in
Yeah.
spaces. And that's how we pick up these things, right?
But do
And
different
right now
people
with COVID, we
do
absolutely pick it up with people,
but do
and we don't
different
even.
people pick it up at different degrees?
Absolutely. So some people are
Okay.
highly sensitive and some
Okay.
people are not as sensitive to energy. And it has a lot to do with your emotional bent of mind as well as your training. So if your training is extremely left brained and very, sort of process driven, scientific, logical,
Yeah.
etc., you may pick up stuff, but you may not, you
No.
may ignore it and not, sort of give it any importance. But if you tend to be artistic, creative, get hurt easily, can sort of just sense the emotions of others when you're sitting with them because you're really sensitive, those kind of people tend to pick up energies and the frequencies of spaces much faster, right?
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I mean, and now with COVID and the lockdown, this is
Hmm.
the most unusual time that the earth has probably seen, because
Seen.
even when there were wars between two countries, it was just the two countries involved
Not the
that
whole.
that were sort of feeling what was happening. But right now there's not a single country or region in the world that hasn't gone
experienced
through
or
this crazy period
absolutely.
with the lockdown, right? And people have lost jobs, they've lost money. People are not used to not
Sick.
interacting
People
with
are
other
sick.
people. Yeah, they're unwell, of course, and there's terror that you're going to get it too. So the collective consciousness, that's the word we use when we're
Yeah.
talking about energy, that sort of affects the entire, like world at the same time. It's called collective consciousness, which is the consciousness of every human being. The energy of every human being tends to be, in the last 5 months, far more fear-driven, nervous, anxious, frustrated, afraid of losing money, just missing having a normal life and socializing. So we as energy beings, we're not just a physical body, we're an energy being, right? We're picking this up subconsciously, all of us are, and it's affecting us at some level or the other, right?
Right.
And it can make you low or anxious, or just feel fatigued a lot. There could be so many emotions that are not even yours, that
I
you
agree.
kind of picked up because of the environment
Like
in
watching
the last
the
5
news.
months. Yeah.
Watching the
Yeah.
news, I have become so
Absolutely.
emotionally involved in it, and I get so affected by it. Because it's unprecedented, right? We've never faced this. I don't think my body or mind knows how to process this. We've not
Right.
left the house, we've not left our space in 6 months. It's
Right.
affected, I think, everyone.
Absolutely. And the thing is, the news tends to rarely be positive.
Yes,
I've
yeah, of
rarely
course.
seen a news channel
I mean, it's
that
news, that's why it's
focuses on
negative.
positivity, right? So one of the ways to know if you're picking up a lot of this
Yeah.
information, which isn't yours, or the emotions of others, is to watch how you react to things like the news, for example, or even, when you're watching Netflix or shows, or if you listen to people who are gossiping, do you feel drained after that? Do you feel unhappy? Are you not able to explain why you're upset or low or
Okay.
anxious? If you are one of those people that we call an empath,
Okay.
an empath is someone who is very, very sensitive to energy and picks up the energy of the environment like a sponge, and then it makes them tank, it makes them depressed and low and unhappy, and often they don't realize that they've picked it up from other people. It's the energy of other people that they've picked up. So
Right.
these are ways to know, gauge yourself and see, are you really sensitive? Do you get hurt easily? Do you play dialogues that people have said over and over in your mind? When you used to go to crowded places before this had happened, before the COVID, would you get drained easily? Do you get upset and, for hours feel low after watching the news? Does the news evoke strong emotions in you? All these are signs that you're holding on to other people's energy.
Okay.
Right?
So is this what energy immunity is? To kind of raise your field, your energy field, so you don't get that affected?
Absolutely. So one of the ways to do it, the most simple way to do it, is to say, just shut your eyes and say,
Yeah.
if any energy doesn't belong to me, if it's in my body or mind or my aura and it doesn't belong to me, let it return to whoever it belongs
It
to.
belongs to.
And then sort of visualize that energy leaving your body like black smoke, right?
Okay.
From various parts of your body. And you'll be surprised to see how much
can
will sometimes
come out.
right?
Yes.
And it will go back to wherever it came from. And then as soon as you do this, visualize yourself taking a shower, with
Yeah.
golden light. So the golden light shower clears your energy field and kind of seals it in. And that's very, very important to do every single day if you tend to be sensitive, to
Okay.
protect, to sort of make your energetic boundaries stronger and clear what isn't yours. You need to make that a daily habit, like brushing.
So
Okay.
basically, also, Rooks, there are lots of questions. So what we will do is, should we first talk about it and then take the questions? I'm noting the question, or do you want to read the questions while we're having this conversation?
So let me just talk about a few other things that you can do. Maybe I'll answer a few of the questions by just talking a little bit, and then
yes,
we can
because
get into questions.
It is exactly what we can talk about, as in
Yeah.
give them examples as well. So
absolutely. So
okay.
Another thing that I think is really important to do to strengthen your energetic immunity
Yeah.
is without fail to have a salt water bath every
Bath.
single day, right? Now, there are all kinds. There's khada namak or like Himalayan pink salt, which
Right.
you can put into take a handful like this and put into a bucket of hot water and swirl it around and then take a bath. Always make sure that you wet your hair, especially up here. And if you put a handful in a bucket full of hot water, it's not going to do anything to your hair. So don't worry about that. So what I do is I've made this salt. It's called
Yes.
the Luna
The
Bath salt.
Luna Bath
And I
salt.
put charcoal in it as well, activated charcoal and stuff, which is important. If you ever see the Nazar ka Nimbu, right?
Yeah.
That they hang on doors. It always has a chili, a lemon, and a piece of coal, right?
Charcoal.
Because coal has a tremendous ability to absorb, the negativity in the body. So that has to become like a daily practice to, sort of take a saltwater bath. And in many communities in India, for example, the Parsis, they do this without fail. They put salt, namak into the pocha ka pani and they clear their entire house with it, or they have a bath with salt water, and that's the logic behind it, because salt absorbs negativity.
Correct.
Right. The other
So the
thing
first
I
one,
like-
what I can, Rooks, can you even post all these on your
yes,
Instagram?
actually, tomorrow what
Yes.
I'll do is on my Instagram, I'll put a resource list
Yes,
of
please.
things that people can do every day, as well as numbers of people who you can contact if you need help in any way, right? So like I
Just
said,
1 second. This video will be saved on IGTV, on Be Personalized. Rooks will also post the link on her page because there's so many questions. So yes, it will be saved. We have a lot to talk about. So if you guys will watch it, in case you miss anything, you can always rewatch it. Yes, Rooks, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so the other thing I highly recommend, so I'm going to just list things that I think are really important to,
Yes.
strengthen your energetic boundaries. So the first thing I said, of course, was, making sure that you clear your energy and
give back
send it
to-
back to whoever
Yes,
it belongs.
it belongs
and
to.
then have a golden light
Golden
shower
pyramid.
after that. The second thing was the bath salts, putting salt into your bath and having a bath every day. The third thing is smudging your space or clearing your space with Bhimseni camphor. So this is not like regular camphor. You'll notice
That's
all the pieces
succulent.
are
Yes.
irregular, like this.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you can find this on Amazon, but make sure you type Bhimseni camphor, because that is the pure camphor that is so pure, in fact, that it's edible and it's used in Ayurvedic medicine to make medicine. Don't use the perfect round, tablets. That's full of petroleum and really bad for you. So don't use that. So walk around your house with a lit piece of coal and keep adding the Bhimseni camphor to it. And you will find that it has an amazing ability to clear space. Okay. You can also use things like sage. You get sage sticks now on
Yes.
Amazon. I, of course, use a lot of smudge. This is the Ganesh smudge, which is, going to be launched later next week, I think. And so you can smudge a space. All you need to do is pray and set the intention before you do it. I think all of you who've been following Vaibhavi or me know what
smudging
is. So I won't spend too much time on that. The other thing I highly recommend is to play mantras in your house, like the Gayatri mantra or Ek Onkar. All these are brilliant and powerful mantras that were received by the Rishi Munis, centuries ago in deep meditation, right? So they have a very high vibration. And so if you're anxious or you're low or you're upset and you play the Gayatri mantra on loop in your house, by your computer, whatever, you will find that slowly, in just 10 minutes of listening and chanting with it, you will shake off a lot of your anxiety and unhappiness and things like this, because a mantra has a very high vibration. And if you're vibrating at a low vibration because you're upset, it'll raise the vibration and you will stop feeling the same emotions of low and depression.
But we have to have the correct person or the correct pronunciation mantras to be played,
Absolutely.
right?
So always type in the Sanskrit pronunciation of Gayatri mantra, right? So don't, like a lot of the singers like Anuradha Kaudwal and all are, singing it. It's not in the correct, pronunciation, and the correct pronunciation is what changes your
Raises the
frequency completely,
frequency.
right?
Correct.
So, japa or chanting a mantra, two of the mantras I most recommend is the Shanti mantra and the Gayatri mantra. There are 142 Shanti mantras across the various Upanishads, and I can't tell you how powerful most of them are. They're all really short. So everyone who wants to find a Shanti mantra will find their favorite. I have my favorite Shanti mantras, and you can listen to them and chant along with it, or play it in your space. It really creates a radioactive energy field around you that changes your frequency. So it's a very powerful thing to do, and ideally always chant it 21 times if you're able, and you'll just find a huge shift in your levels of nervousness, anxiety, fear, all of that. A certain power comes into you when you chant the mantras, right? So also japa, if there's a god you connect to, or even Om Namah Shivaya, or whatever you connect to, just saying Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya 108 times or whatever. It makes the mind have a single pointed focus. Mantra, the man, it kind of calms and focuses the mind, right? So this is a good way. Like, there are times when you're so low you don't even want to get out of bed, right?
Right, exactly.
And when you go through something like that, just lie down, deep breathe 5 or 6 times, and then start Om Namah Shivaya or Om, or any mantra that you feel you like or you feel connected to. Is very important to like the mantra that you're doing, and then start doing it, and you will start feeling a huge powerful shift within you.
Like
Okay.
you said, someone actually messaged me that, you're telling me, I spoke to someone about smudging. They said, I can't turn around to get out of bed. Forget me smudging, lighting cone or burning camphor. They might not want to chant a mantra. Is there anything that will instantly raise their frequency, which is not as cumbersome as lighting your coal, waiting for 10 minutes, putting your smudge, walking around? Is there anything else? I mean, okay, yeah, breathing, yes, but along with that?
So, like I said, deep breathing is a big one, and I'll talk a little bit about deep breathing in a bit. But essential oils, I'm a big believer, and I have the deepest relationship with essential oils, because a high grade medicinal essential oil, if you just open the bottle and smell it, it instantly enters your vasomoral tube, enters the brain, and opens up parts of the brain that are bogged down with depression and stuff like that. So I highly recommend making a mix of oils, like a roll on, and just putting it beside your bed, and putting it on your wrists and smelling it, and that will automatically sort of change how you're feeling. Just keep sniffing it deeply. And for example, I mean, I recommend that people who have a tendency towards depression or anxiety or insomnia or postpartum depression, always keep 2 or 3 oils at home, okay? Mix it into a roll-on, keep it by your bedside. You wake up or you feel unhappy, just lie down, deep breathe, and sniff the oils. The oils have, sort of deeply healing medicinal abilities, right?
But they have to be pure grade, right? You can't get on Amazon a lavender essential oil. It's not going to really raise your frequency how a pure grade essential oil will.
Yeah.
Right?
So I highly recommend using medicinal grade oils.
Okay.
That's very, very important, because they've been tested by a board which has certified that this is the highest grade of oil, and you can use it for medicinal properties. And medicinal grade oils help with from asthma to depression to all kinds of things, and they're very, very powerful and useful. So yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example of a few. I tend to recommend lemon balm for
Rooks, can you show
anxiety.
a little closer? Can you show it a little closer? Because
this is something called Roman chamomile, and it's really, really good for insomnia, for people who struggle to sleep at night. um, I tend to recommend a mix for different things. So on tomorrow's resources, I'll post for depression or for
Anxiety,
chronic
depression.
fatigue, insomnia, anxiety. I'll post 3 or 4 categories and an oil
Lovely.
mix, so y'all can look at it and access it, and then you will know exactly what to do. And I really urge you to sort of make a mix, put it by your bedside, diffuse it. In a home which sees a lot of stress, for example, if you find that your partner or people you live with are very negative and constantly, sort of grumbling about the government and the prices of today and how
And
COVID is being handled, and you feel that negativity is affecting you, right? Diffuse frankincense oil in every room, because
Brooks, can you
it's
explain what diffuse the oil means? Just a quick
yeah.
one
So
second.
basically, what I would recommend, that if you want to, you just take a few drops like this, put 3 or 4 drops into a diffuser or a burner with a candle below. Everyone must have seen it, and a little bit of water. Put it all over the house, 3 or 4 of them, and in the morning put 3 or 4 drops, and it'll last for 4 or 5 hours. Or you can buy a cold press diffuser off Amazon, which you fill with water at the top, put it into an electrical socket, put the oils at the top, and it'll keep sort of spraying a gentle mist of the oil into the space. And what that does is it recycles the emotions. It cleanses
Mm,
what we call energetic elementals, which are our emotional toxic dump. So if I'm
okay.
angry and I'm sitting on the phone and I'm chatting with a friend, or I'm having a fight with my spouse, or a family member, my energetic toxic dump has been dumped into that space,
In a
and
space.
yeah, and essential oils keep clearing that, and sort of diffuse that, keeping the space at a very clean, high vibration.
And you
Yeah.
feel also good, right? When you walk into a space that smells good, automatically it
Absolutely, because
raises your
fragrance is a huge part. Why
you
do you think there's so
abs-
many perfumes? There's an agarbatti industry, a dhoop industry, scented candles. Why? Because fragrance affects mood. It's as simple
yes,
as that. And the best part
absolutely.
is pure fragrance that is not tampered or toxic or chemical in nature absolutely affects, our well-being. So
So
it's
does
a
it
wonderful way.
elevates your frequency, it protects your elevates your energetic immunity as well?
So the minute you feel good, right,
Hmm.
your
Yeah.
frequency rises.
Goes
The
up,
minute your
right.
frequency rises, your aura closes
Stronger.
off and becomes a shield, right? The
Correct.
only way we get, hurt or sad or depressed or anxious or, can't sleep at night or, for example, ill, is if our frequency drops because we're not good, we're not feeling good, or we're unhappy, right? Because our thoughts affect everything. The, our thoughts affect our physical body and make us sick. There's now science is linking stress and stressful thoughts with disease, heart disease, and Alzheimer's, and autoimmune disease, and so many things, right? So what is stress? Basically, stress is a way of thinking, right? And
Yeah.
feeling a little bit of anxiety or a lot of anxiety, and that entirely affects your physical body as well as your energetic boundaries. So yeah,
So
absolutely.
you spoke about empaths, right? In the
Yes.
beginning of how, but today everyone needs to have that energy immunity, right? Everyone needs to raise their energy immunity and protect themselves, right?
Every single person who is feeling bewildered, upset, anxious, unhappy, or even worrying at any level about work or finances, or what is this? When is this going to end?
And so today
Needs to
everyone
be,
is that.
yeah, I mean, unless you're a very, very strong person who doesn't get influenced at all by their environment, and that's a very tiny percentage of the
Yeah.
population of the world, right? I mean, I may be feeling fine, but I'll talk to a student who's really upset because she lost her job or her husband lost his job, and I feel upset for them as well,
Of
right?
course.
So even if nothing's really impacting you directly, the world around you is getting impacted. So yeah, sure, everyone needs to be, it's their responsibility. I always tell students this, it's your personal responsibility to take care of your energy and your energetic boundaries. You cannot, you're not a victim of the circumstances. Yes, of course, we're all part of this world today that is going through this, but you have to take your own protection and your well-being into your own
In
hands.
your
And
own
it's very
hands.
simple. This is all really, like, I've thought really hard on what is super simple for anyone to do that isn't complicated, and I think anyone can do most of these things, right? Another thing that I highly recommend is journaling,
Yeah.
especially if you're feeling really overwhelmed and upset, and you find it hard to talk about it because you don't even know exactly what you're feeling. I'd highly recommend just pouring out everything you're feeling onto in a notebook and keep it personal. It's just for you. And we call this stream of consciousness, where there's no thought or logic. You just write and
Just
write and
write.
write and write whatever you're feeling till you feel all right, sort of written out, and you're done, and then you're feeling a little better. And then just go back to that whenever you feel that. The power in journaling is so immense. I can't
Yeah.
tell you, right? So yeah, I mean, I really recommend it. The other thing I feel is a beautiful tool is pranayam. Okay, and I know that, I mean, we kind of take yoga for granted. Being in India,
Granted.
yeah, yoga, whatever, right? But I mean, it's unfortunate that we think this way about yoga, because honestly, it's one of the biggest gifts and tools we have in this country, and now of course it's spread all over the world. But not like 110 Surya Namaskars. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pranayam, which is breath, right? And working with your breath, because hundreds of studies have been done on the connection between brainwave and breath,
Breath.
right? And when you breathe deeply or do Anilom Vilom, which is alternative nostril breathing, or Brahmri, you know, these 2-3 types of pranayams with Nadi Shodhanam, which is the cleansing of the nadis. When you do these, you find a teacher, learn this online, just do this, and you will find that your brainwave changes from, an alpha brainwave to a far more delta, calm, peaceful state just from breathing. And I mean, the nice part is, the yogis always knew this.
Yeah.
But what is interesting in the age of science and technology is how they've studied what happens to the brain with yoga in many of the universities abroad, by sort of putting EEG or ECG machines on you, and having people who've been practicing yoga for 20 years do these things, and they find that it's unbelievable the effect long term it has on depression, anxiety, insomnia, weight loss, all of this, because there's a big link between weight gain and stress,
Of course.
right? So yeah, so I highly recommend this. Are there any questions before I go further?
There are lots of questions, but do you want to take the questions up now, or do you want to do it all in the end? Then I can start reading the questions out to you, and we can just go. I've written them down, so I know exactly where to start. Do you want me to quickly read the questions, and then we can again?
Sure, we can do a couple of questions, and I
So,
can dive back in.
what should one do when you come home and are unable to sleep because of negative energy?
Okay. Well, if you have the time and the energy to do it, I would recommend the first thing you do is take a saltwater bath, right? And
Okay.
if you have the energy, I talked about this a little bit, use roll-ons on your wrists and things like that, and start getting into a daily practice of smudging your house, your space. The minute you start smudging your space with camphor and smudge, you will not find this as much. You will walk into a space and you will find that
Light.
it has a really high vibration, right? The other thing is, if you don't have the energy to smudge, if you have a bell in the house, like a ghanti, just walk around with it, ring the bell like loudly in every part of the house, and you will find an energetic shift in it, right? So these are the 3-4 things you can do.
Is it mandatory to have a hair bath every day with the salt bath?
So the head, the crown chakra, is where you attract the most amount of nazar. So the spots where nazar enters the body is the crown and the back of the neck. The neck, which is the very vulnerable chakra called the Alta Major chakra, which tends to attract negative energies and nazar the most. So if you don't, sort of cleanse those 2 areas, you're not doing yourself
A favor.
doing a thorough cleanse of yourself. So yeah. So
But then you
if
can smudge your...
So if you suspect that you're low, you're anxious, you're, surprisingly tired, um, then definitely, put the salt water on your crown. I mean, on the top of your head and your neck. But if it's a normal day and you largely feel fine, there are days you can skip this if you feel like it's going to be a pain to wash your hair out every single day. Yeah.
What if social media or any media is making you feel negative? How do you deal with that?
I highly recommend social media detox. Go from, I mean, this is going to take a lot of self discipline because people are addicted and you can't stop being on it. But why do you want to make yourself feel bad? Look, I'm on social media too. I'm on, Instagram from time to time. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't make me negative, right? So I'm okay with it. But if I started watching a few shows on Netflix, it made me upset, so I just stopped. I'm very protective of my mind and my energetic body, and I take full responsibility for it. I don't want to be low and depressed. But I find that people sort of get hooked. They kind of can't stop, they're in a loop and they can't stop. You need to stop. You need to stop if you find yourself getting upset. Be in tune with yourself. Check, am I feeling upset by being on social media? Then don't be on it. And also, I think have a routine in place. Like after it, if you tend to have the time, smudge yourself, use your roll-on of essential oils. Keep inhaling the essential oils. Even if you just open the bottle and inhale it from the bottle, it'll do its work. You don't have to, make a giant mix and put it on and stuff like that. Yeah. So you need to discipline yourself a little bit if it's upsetting you. There's no other answer, really.
What if you feel low every day in spite of smudging?
So sometimes we feel low every day in spite of smudging because there are certain, either circumstances in your life that are causing that, or you're absorbing the energies of other people and not able to, sort of release it. So one thing I would ask you to do is definitely try the 3-4 things I told you. For example, pranayam. That's really powerful. I'll give you anything if in 7 days of doing the 4 pranayams, which are 1 minute each, you still say this. I mean, I challenge anyone to this because I know the power of pranayam, right? There's also something called Yog Nidra, which if you type Yog Nidra on YouTube, it is yogic sleep, which is a deep meditative state. And they have guided meditations online. Try doing that twice a week and then message me on Insta, whoever's asked this question, and tell me how you're feeling. Yeah.
If you suspect someone's nazar is affecting you, what is the easiest way to release it?
Like I said, smudging, building a strong boundary. So, for example, if you're around that person, at least once a day, every day, ask the energy that they send to you to return to them. And then, sort of imagine yourself bathing in golden light, like a shower of golden light. The other thing you can do is imagine your aura like an egg around you as a mirror. So you are inside, the aura is around you, and the aura is a mirror. So anything that comes to you reflects back. Right? So visualize this shiny, bright, strong mirror around you. That also helps a lot.
Rooks, we can even use the sprays, right? The nazar spray is a good way to kind of shield yourself even before going
absolutely
somewhere.
So that we have 3 in the series. Release helps you release nazar. Ground helps you bring the energy, like cleanses the entire body from top to bottom, all the auras and chakras. And shield creates a strong protective shield around you. So you can use the sprays before you meet people like that as well. Yeah.
There's so many questions. Do you want to talk, or do you want to just keep taking questions, Rooks? Because we still want to talk about cord cutting and stuff like that, right?
I mean, are there any questions about the things I was talking about till now?
Yes. How can you support someone you live with who's experiencing negative energy and may not be open to doing pranayama or smudging?
So the first thing I would recommend is get them into mental or emotional balance. I'm going to put this down in the resource list tomorrow. You could give them something called Bach remedies, which are flower-based remedies, or like herbal tinctures. I'll give you an example. This is called Deep Calm, okay, and you can buy this on the website. I'll put down names of Bach flower therapists who are really good. I don't do Bach flower anymore. I don't have the time. I used to do it a lot earlier, but definitely get them into a state of balance with something tangible like a medicine, and this medicine is so completely pure and organic. You can give it to a child. Both Bach and most herbal tinctures can be even given to children. So it's a good way to do it by for 2 weeks giving them something like
Okay.
this, and then you'll start finding them in 9 days. Guaranteed you'd find them calmer, more relaxed, more open, and then you can start bringing in things like the smudge and essential oils is an easy one because
That's
most
what
people
oils.
aren't resistant to essential oils. You can make a mix. I'm going to post some of the mixes tomorrow. You can make a mix and give it to them, rub it on their wrist, behind the ears, pulse points basically on the thymus and on the nabi inside the navel, and you will find that it'll start changing their reactions, their moods completely. Yeah.
Or what oils do you recommend for anxiety and depression?
So, like I said, I will post all of them tomorrow on the resource list just because for in the interest of time. But since you're asking, for anxiety, I highly recommend a mix between bergamot oil and lemon balm. And for depression, I recommend and what kind of depression? So if it's postpartum depression, I recommend a mix of clary sage, geranium, frankincense. If it's regular depression, frankincense works beautifully in that situation. So yeah, I mean, I'll put a comprehensive list up tomorrow, so it'll be easier for you all to kind of look at it. Any
Okay.
other questions?
Yes, lots. There are lots. So, can we put essential oils into the bath water as well if you don't want to apply it on the body?
Oh, that's a lovely way. I think Tushar asked that question. Tushar, yeah, as you know, I am a big believer in essential oils in your bath water. In fact, even the Luna salts and the Sola salts are full of essential oils, so that it hits the bath water and you get this sort of your
The whole
endless.
bathroom smells amazing.
Yeah. So and it makes you relax and really calms you down. So essential oils in bath water is a big yes. It's lovely.
Okay, how do you make out if you are under a nazar?
Okay. So some of the symptoms of getting nazar, mild nazar, okay? It could be really simple. You could have a tummy upset, you could feel nauseous, you may get a little bit of fever. It could be a physical symptom, right? Or if it's stronger nazar, then things don't work out. Things keep getting stuck for you.
Stalled.
Anything that you want to do keeps getting stuck and you can't move forward, right? So also you feel upset, you feel negative, you feel low. You these words keep coming in your mind that nothing happens for me, everything gets blocked when I do it. When you think like this, most often there is nazar on you or on your family. Yeah.
Okay. What do you use to help with energy of kids around the age of 10?
What do you mean by energy of kids? The
I'm
question needs to
guessing the
be.
kid, yeah, I'm guess kids obviously will have energy. Okay. What is the
Maybe they
best
can clarify in another question.
uh
But
Bhumi
so
Rabbit,
for
if you can just
example, I
clarify.
see a question by Ruchi, Wami Rabbit. Bath as in bucket or tub only? Definitely either, right? So if you don't have, most people in Bombay aren't lucky enough to have tubs. So if you don't have a tub and you have just a bucket, put it into your bucket. Put 5 or 7 drops of pure essential oil straight into the bucket, and then let the bucket be filled with hot water, and then have your bath. Yeah.
What object to have by the front entrance of the house? Uh, I'm I'm guessing that's the question. To ward off bad vibes, I'm guessing.
So I don't really put objects, though I mean, obviously the traditional thing to put is the nimbu and the,
Yeah.
mirchi and things like that. I smudge my home thoroughly. There's not a day of my life where my home is not smudged. So that really helps. The other thing that really helps is if you leave, akha namak in bowls around the house and change it every week, and it'll absorb negative energies, negative emotions, and then toss it out, and refill it with fresh salt every week. Yeah.
Does salt bath help children?
Yes, it helps. My children get a salt bath every day, every single day of their lives. Okay.
Okay. There's one last one. What is the right way to use rock salt in baths? Someone told me not to use it every day.
I used it every day of my life. I
Yeah,
seem
so
fine
have
to
I.
me. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to go and talk a little bit more about two last things before we wind up for today. One of them is grounding, and the other is cord cutting. Okay, so let me explain what grounding is properly for people who don't understand it, right? If you tend to be the kind of person who spends a lot of time in your head, so you think a lot, right? So our bodies have an energy circuit called nadis, what the Chinese call meridians. Okay, now the nadis run like lines through our body like this, from up to down, and then on the back from down to up. So it's almost like a circuit of energy that rotates around us, right? Now, for those people who spend a lot of time in their heads, like they're fantasizing, daydreaming, planning, thinking, worrying, being anxious, stressing, what happens is this entire area, you create energy blocks. Okay, so the meridians or the nadis will not flow through from here, and it will get stuck. Now, what happens in a situation like this is a variety of ailments. Okay, if your grounding is off, for example, you will find that you cannot focus. You have very, very poor ability to for balance.
Balancing.
You're clumsy. You'll keep bumping into things, knocking your knees, knocking your feet, keep twisting your ankles, etc. Right? You'll get a lot of migraines and cervical issues. Okay, so neck pain, migraines, cervical issues, headaches. All of this is a sign of very, very poor grounding. Okay, the other thing that tends to happen is, because you can't focus, because all this is blocked, so how does your brain sort of have the clarity or the focus that you require, right? So you will find that in these situations the primary reason is because your grounding is fully off. Okay, so one of the ways to make sure that you stay properly grounded is to focus on deep breathing every day. Like, it has to become a part of your daily life, where you do 3 to 8 deep breaths with your hands on your stomach. Feel the breath rising, your stomach coming out and going back in. So deep diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, and you need to make sure that you use daily oils like patchouli, spikenard, cedarwood, mixed in, say, a coconut
So
oil.
on your pulse points, right? The oils, or for different
But you must
drinks?
always mix it in carrier oils.
Carry oils.
Never plain.
Can you show, Brooks, can you, just too quick. You took away the bottle very quickly. Can you show us the bottle? And in case we have the next 5 minutes, we're going to log back on in again for the second session, because Insta will kick us out. Thank you, Brooks. Yes.
Okay, so you need to mix patchouli or spikenard or cedarwood into a carrier oil like a sweet almond, or a coconut, or a jojoba, and you need to rub it every day as part of your night routine, on your knees, on your feet, on your ankles, on your calves. Deep breathe while you're doing it, and visualize thick roots coming out of your feet like a tree, going deep into the earth. Okay, and breathe deeply, imagining the breath going all the way down to the roots, which are in the center of the earth, and going all the way up, and then keep doing that to open up the circuitry that is blocked here. The minute you have a headache, it means you're ungrounded. right? So the minute you have neck pain, a headache, you're not thinking straight, you're daydreaming too much, you need to work with essential oils and breathing and grounding by imagining you have roots coming out of your feet. And the other thing you could do is think of having heavy magnets at the on the soles of your feet that are kind of stuck to the earth. Okay, so imagine magnets strapped to the soles of your feet. When you do this, you will find that your anxiety, your constant thinking, and people who are perfectionists, control freaks, who want to plan everything to the T, will have a million migraines. That's the reason you get migraines, by the way. So, or headaches or scatter headaches or whatever. So it's really, really important to bring the energy down from the head area, the neck area, to the feet with these practices. Okay.
Rooks, we'll have to save this session and come back again. I've got the alert already, so they'll kick us out in 10 minutes. Guys, we're coming back right now. I'm just going to save this session and we come back right away.
Sure.
Hi guys, we are back with the second session with Reiki Grandmaster Rukmini Panus. I'm just waiting for her to log back on in. We had to, Instagram gave us a 10-second warning, so we had to log out and log back in so I could save the session. I'm just going to send her a request. Adi, if you're on, can you tell Rooks I'm on again? So she has to send me a request again. Thanks. I hope you guys loved the first session. I thought it was amazing. And I wanted to save it because last time I lost out on saving it since we, Instagram just kicked us out because we overran our time. I'm just waiting for Rooks to log back on in. There she is.
Hi.
Now you're a pro on Insta Live, Rooks. Now nothing can stop you. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, we were talking about grounding actually, right?
And mixing
and
the oils
clearing
and
the
rub.
meridians in the upper half of the body by regularly grounding using like I said, the essential oils, breathing, and imagining you're like a tree with deep roots into the earth and bringing the energy up and down, right? The other thing that I find that is even simpler, right, but people don't do at all, is something called oil pulling. Okay, and when we eat food and we have a lot of negative thoughts and our minds are perpetually busy with being bombarded with negative information via media and social media and all of that, you tend to collect a lot of the toxins in your face area, especially in your mouth. Or in most studies of the mouth, on the tongue and around the mouth, they find that hundreds of toxins are generated just from the kinds of thoughts we have. So I highly recommend something that in Ayurveda most people will tell you to do, which is called the removal of Uma. Uma are the toxins in your mouth, and it basically is done by taking a teaspoon and a half of pure original coconut oil or sesame oil, but make sure it's cold pressed and organic. Taking a tablespoon and a half of it and then gargling it in your mouth for like, the ideal is supposed to be 10 to 15 minutes, but when you first start, it's not even 3 minutes for that long. Yeah, so the max most people can do in the beginning is 2 to 3 minutes, but that's really important. Before you brush your teeth, before you do anything, you use the tongue scraper and you sort of gargle hard with the the coconut or the sesame oil. Do it in your bath while you're showering. It saves time. And then at the end, just don't spit it out in a wash basin because it'll clog up your pipes. Put it, spit it out in your pot, in your commode, and you will find that your stomach will stay clearer. It has been proved to help, dark circles, depression, anxiety, acidity, or, sort of gum health, of course, and teeth and cavities and all of that. But I find that it actually, the clearing of the energetic toxins from the mouth strengthens the energy bodies of the aura very, very strongly.
Okay.
So
is
I
that why in
highly
Ayurveda
recommend-
they just look at the tongue to tell you what toxins and what issues you
Absolutely.
have? It's
Ayurveda just looks at your tongue for 2
tongue.
minutes
Absolutely.
on a Zoom call, and he can tell you
Yeah.
you have these kind of thoughts. This is wrong with your stomach. Your dreams are like this. All based on what is accumulated there. So it's really, really important to clear that as well as you can. And it's so simple. I mean, it's literally taking a teaspoon and a half of sesame or coconut oil and gargling with it for
It's
3
tough,
minutes,
Rose.
right? And clearing it. So you build up to it. It takes about 2 weeks to get it right, because people feel like spitting it out in like a minute or whatever. But just stick with it, and it's really, really helpful. Okay.
So that really helps the grounding as well as the overall energy immunity, right?
Oh my God,
It's not just for
I
grounding.
have recommended to do sort of oil pulling who have come to me with holes in their aura. Okay. Because they're so porous and permeable, and they're like sponges. I have found in 10 days of daily oil pulling that their boundaries have energy boundaries have become so strong, So I highly recommend it. I think it's a brilliant practice. And also using a tongue cleaner, if you can get a copper tongue cleaner, nothing like it, because the copper ones are the really, really work well. Excuse me, to clear your toxins. I think the last thing I want to talk about, Vaibhavi, when it comes to energetic immunity, is something called cord cutting. Okay, and for a lot of people who have tuned in, they may have heard of cord cutting because they're either students of mine or work have come to me for something or the other. But for people who've never heard of cord cutting, you need to understand that invisible to the naked eye, we have energy cords that almost look like an umbilical cord between a baby and a mother. Okay, and they come out of various parts of our chakras and kind of hook into other people. Okay, right. Now, some amount of cording is what we call it, is normal. Cording happens when you're attached or you love somebody. So you and I would be corded to our parents, our children, our spouses, our best friends and close friends, everyone we love in our lives, basically.
Right.
Even to our teachers, right? But sometimes a cord can be formed which is negative for you, which is not serving you well. Now let's understand one thing. All cording is karmic. You cannot have a cord between you and another person if there is no karmic tie between you and that person, and some lesson to learn that has to be learned on both parts, right? So when you close your eyes and just visualize, is there anything, like coming out from your body, almost like a thread or a rope, energetically, and tying you to someone or an idea? Sometimes you don't have to be corded to a person. You could be corded to an institution, which could be a good thing, right? I mean, you could be corded to a Buddhist monastery if you're a Buddhist, or you could be corded to Sadhguru or, Isha Foundation or whatever. And these are probably good things for you. They're spiritual cords, which are good. But sometimes cords can be negative for you and can, sort of control your mind. And that can happen even through social media, right? You can get corded to a particular, to news, like for example, Sushant Singh Rajput suicide, and you could be fully corded to that and, constantly wanting to check and upset about it or whatever. Now, those kind of cords don't keep you in balance.
Right. And they're
right?
not for your highest good, right?
And it's not for your highest good, right? I mean, obviously, being corded to your children or your spouse or your parents is for your highest good, unless, of course, you're
Absolutely.
corded to a negative lover who's, you know, violent or bad for you. But in general, I'm saying, but if you're corded to people or situations when you shouldn't be corded, you need to clear those cords every day. So before you go to sleep, close your eyes. Just imagine, is there anything coming out of me and stuck to somebody else, right? And if there is, just with your mind imagine chopping it off where you are and letting that cord go back into that person. Okay? Now, where that spot was chopped by you, you can imagine chopping it with a scissor, whatever you want, right? Visualize healing that part till it becomes completely normal, right? Like your normal skin or whatever.
Yeah.
And do that everywhere in your body. If the cord, you'll just have an intuition that this cord is
Where the
not healthy for me. It's not good for me. It's not for my highest good. So uncord yourself. Now, obviously, if you are karmically tied to a person and you're supposed to learn lessons which you haven't yet learned, that cord will come back. So why is it important to uncord? It's important to uncord because it should be in your awareness. If you have a negative tie to a person where there's a lesson to learn or something to change about your behavior with that person, for that cording to end, okay? And especially if you're corded to the news or you're corded to, you know, like I said, Sushant Singh Rajput, or I mean,
I was very corded to it. Rooks, I'm being very honest. It affected me
everyone was,
so
Vaibhavi,
much.
every single person in
I
India
feel I still
has
am.
been deeply disturbed by that because, like I said, you know, this time is such. It
But
is this
why?
because we're all on pause. None of us are working. We don't have 10
Hmm.
million balls to juggle. We don't have different ways for our mind to be engaged in other things. We're not shopping, meeting friends, partying, etc., etc. We have all the time for the news to sink in deeply, for it to play on your mind, for it, and there's a sense of injustice about
Yes,
the
I think that's
situation,
what
right?
it is.
It's the injustice, it's the grief that everyone feels at someone with who's so young with so much promise, etc. And it's a collective consciousness. Like I said, you know, the whole country is mourning and grieving a loss that you can't even understand because you're feeling like, I mean, he's not my brother, he's not my uncle, he's not my cousin, why am I
I
so sad,
Yeah,
right? and
exactly.
and and actually, you know what, because in general energetically we're all connected, right? We all are interconnected, right? Normal life doesn't give you the pause to realize that interconnection.
Yeah.
This period
Has
has
given
made
us,
us all so sensitive to these kinds of things. We're all grieving for the you know, of it, the injustice of it. It's really sad, and I think, you know, so this is a way to uncord yourself. That doesn't mean you won't care anymore. That doesn't mean
I
you
was just
don't.
going to come to that. Does that mean I'm not supposed to feel how I feel? Like, I feel he deserves truth. I feel we deserve to know what happened. If I uncord myself, will I lose that feeling?
No, not at all. In fact, you'll
Okay.
have a more balanced way of looking at it rather than spiraling into being anxious, upset, and depressed yourself.
Yeah.
You will calmly be able to, you know, I mean, we all want the truth of the matter out, justice for him and his family. Everybody wants, you know, closure, I think, on that chapter.
Yeah.
That you, I mean, one thing is to be emotionally involved where it's detrimental to you, and the other thing
Yeah.
is to be emotionally involved in a balanced way. And I'm saying
Correct.
coding or decoding yourself allows you to be balanced about it. Yeah.
Okay. So if I were to say, can we talk about a live example? Supposing I'm deeply coded in that issue, okay?
Right.
And I can
Right.
see I can see where my cord is.
Right.
Do I cut that, take it out, try to heal myself? But what if I see it coming again? What
You
karmic
uncord
tie
every
would I
night.
have? You uncord it because
You,
I would
it's a
not have
daily
any.
thing. Just the way
Okay.
you brush your teeth and take a bath, you need to energetically protect your boundaries every single day by clearing your space, sending the energy back to who it belongs, uncording, healing, you know, taking salt water baths, making sure that you know, sort of have the golden shower. These things are, it's just part and parcel of daily life in these times, right?
So I've been doing all of that. Okay. You know how religious I am about smudging and saltwater baths and all of that. And So this case, Shriyan's case affected me so much. I've never been affected like this before.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
actually said that, take your energy back. I cut off from the news for a week. I would like seriously think about something else. But I just feel it's constantly playing at the back of my mind.
Because we are very strongly coded to it, right? And we want closure, so that's not
Yeah.
going to change. If you uncord, you'll just find it not playing on your mind
Front.
all the time.
Yeah.
You will want to know, you will hope for the best, but you will not. It will not mess you up or affect you or make you low or ungrounded. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay. So your coding is also to protect your energy immunity, right? You're decoding.
Absolutely. And I highly recommend you ground regularly because you think a lot as a person.
Yeah.
You stay a
Yeah.
lot in this space and bring the energy down and ground, and you'll find that your reactions to things will be quite different. Yeah. Do we have time for more questions?
We have time. Can you take? Do you have time, Brooks?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure. Just
I can. Do you want to read out the questions so you know in what order, or should I just read them out how they've come?
Why don't you start while I go through some of them?
Okay. Okay. Great. Can we use any other oil besides coconut and sesame for oil pulling?
They find after a lot of Ayurvedic research has gone into this, that the most balanced oil of all is coconut.
Coconut.
Okay.
Yes.
Whether you're kaph, vat, or pitta, right?
Pitta.
It doesn't really affect you that much negatively. So coconut and sesame are, I would recommend, stick to one of these two. Yeah.
Okay. Next. Oil swishing. How often should oil pulling be done? Ideally every day, right?
Every single day. Every day of
Okay,
your life.
every single day. Yes, Rukmini will be posting all of this tomorrow on her page, which is at White Horse Healing Works. I've even tagged her in the IGTV, so you guys know which page to follow to see what the different things that you can practice. We hold onto the cords through right before we fall asleep. We hold onto the cords though, right before we fall asleep. Is that a question or is that a
I think this is
statement?
Desiring Dragons. We
Yeah.
hold on to the cords all day. All day,
Okay.
unless we consciously cut the cord. Yeah.
Does mantras help in grounding?
Absolutely. The Gayatri
Totally.
Mantra addresses all 5 koshas, all 7 auras, and your chakras, and balance all of them when you do it. So yeah, absolutely.
So many people are dying in this corona phase has kept us sad and scared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
What
I think
if I-
Amrit is saying,
Yeah.
what if our intuition is not that
Yeah.
strong? So Amrit, every single person has intuition. Every single student of mine who first came to phase 1 Reiki found that they, believe that they don't have much intuition, but with time they've all realized that they are intuitive. Okay, so everybody is intuitive, whether they know it or not. So if you're worrying about whether you'll pick up the chords, you'll have a knowing or a sense, and you'll just feel like something is here or something is here. Just try it, and you'll find that it actually is inbuilt in the way you are built, I am built, all of us are built, right?
No, I think Desiring Dragons meant should we cut good cords and bad cords before we fall
No,
asleep?
obviously
No.
only the bad chords. Yeah. Okay. Which is the best mantra for early morning meditation? Like I said, Gayatri Mantra or any of the Shanti mantras are wonderful for the first meditation in the morning. Okay. I think card readings with Dora has asked, can you please elaborate on how oil pulling clears the aura? So I think you may have missed it. I talked about the umas on the tongue. The toxins of the tongue are actually a good Ayurveda who can sort of read your energy body as well as your physical body. So a great Ayurveda can look at you and tell you that you're an empath, you know, feel sensitive in these situations, etc., etc. All of that shows on the tongue because all kinds of toxins are on the tongue. There's energetic electromagnetic toxins which are in your energy body which show on the tongue. There are physical toxins that show on the tongue. So when you clear it, you're actually doing a deep cleanse of the physical organs, your nadis, your meridians, as well as your aura. Okay? No, you cannot mix coconut and sesame. Pick one. Okay?
Gayatri and Tushar have answered most of the questions for you, Rooks. Where should you apply it?
Can you please explain the exact steps of saltwater bath? Take a bunch of salt in your hand, put it into the bucket, put a little of hot water, stir the bucket, then fill the entire bucket and start having a bath. Khatam bath. Finished. It's as simple as that.
Rooks, you're going to be talking about pulse points on your Instagram tomorrow, right? What they are, where to apply the oils, because there's a question regarding that.
Yes, I will. I'll talk about
okay.
There.
Can you tell us what you'll be listing on your on the page so that you know it's saved on this IGTV so that they know to go to your page to see it? Because there'll be a lot of people who'll watch the video later and not right now.
So I think I'll definitely list mantras. I list you know, journaling. I list Bach flower and practitioners that people can go to. Some tinctures that people can use. Oils for various issues. And the places where you can use them, including grounding, and how to do oil pulling.
Okay. Any oil we can use or tincture that we can have to cut cords automatically, where I don't have to sit and visualize which cord is not serving me and it goes on its own.
How little work do you want to do in life, yeah? I mean,
you're there.
With all the energy
That's
products.
why I took a chance to ask you on the public platform if we can.
So you want a tincture for what now?
A tincture or oil where, you know, automatically the cords drop that don't serve me. Or kind of where it is easier for me to drop those cords, identify those cords and drop the cords that don't serve me. I'll put it that way.
Release spray will do that if you set the intention for it. Hamsa smudge will do it if you set the intention for it. Okay?
Okay. So Hamsa will release cords as well, not just the nazar? Okay.
Hamsa releases curses and any cords that are not for your highest good.
Okay. Okay.
And any ancestral curses as well.
Right.
Yeah?
Got it.
Anything else?
I'm just going through the questions. We love our
Thank you, Gayatri, for saying release. Yeah, that's exactly what release will do. Release, actually, you can spray it and you can say 1111 portal open. Every cord that isn't for my highest good, enter the portal and cut. You'll see it all go in and the portal close. So yeah. Yeah.
So even the Isis smudge?
Isis smudge, I mean, you know, honestly, Hamsa and Kali are the best for cord cutting. Okay. Isis smudge is a much more metaphysical smudge. It's about connection. It's about your soul star opening. It's about being far more intuitive. It's about connecting you to Sirius. There are many things bringing you into your full spiritual power and things.
Correct.
It's a very metaphysical smudge.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know Rooks is amazing. I agree.
Anything else before we wind down?
Do you want to see all the questions that there are there? Because they want you to explain what is Hamsa, what is Kali. So these are all the smudges that Rukmini makes for.
Yeah. Hamsa is a smudge that is currently out of stock. Let me put that out there right away. I hope to make some more in October. But if you go to my Instagram, you will see a picture of it. It's a smudge to release nazar, cut cords, sort of release curses, etc. It's on the White Horse. It was on the White Horse website when it was available. It was made last month. Okay. Release is a spritzer. It is still very much in stock. It is on the website. It is a spray that comes with a little brochure that teaches you exactly how to use it. You can spray it, and can you get a release for me?
I was just gonna
And a
say,
hamsa. Yeah,
my Jadi Booty
release
box is up.
ground. Huh? Yeah.
My Jadi Booty box is up, as
And
Kunal
a
calls
hamsa.
it.
So release is a spritzer. It's a sort of spray that you would use to clear anything, negative energies, entities, nazar, any of these things from your energetic body. You just spray it onto yourself. You close your eyes. You visualize the number 11, 11. In front of you, you will visualize like an opening. Okay, and everything negative from you going inside that opening and the opening shutting. Actually, release is made with 53 herbs that have been used by indigenous tribes in Peru and Africa and all over the world, actually, with a bunch of sacred woods and herbs and plants and all of that to clear the energy body. Yeah.
Tushar has given a broadcast. White Horse Smudge sells out as soon as they're launched.
Just shows how much people want to clear their.
Yeah.
So this is what release looks like. Okay. You would use this first, then you would ground yourself with this, which is ground. And then you can use ground at any time when you feel ungrounded. Symptoms of being ungrounded are, leg pain, feet pain, headaches, neck aches, cervical issues, migraines, feeling lightheaded, feeling dizzy, feeling nauseous, feeling unclear and woozy. Any of these are symptoms of being ungrounded. And this is finally what we call shield, which kind of protects your energy body and makes your energetic boundaries very strong. Okay? And regularly take baths with salt water.
So yes, thank you, Rooks, so much for doing this.
No problem. Yeah.
I'm going to again bug you in another month to do another session like this. We need to really talk about a lot of things, right, that are happening and how it's like I know how many things I can do to protect my energy, and yet I'm so affected by the news and things like that. And so I had people, even when I posted your image, of our talk, I had people actually message me that, I feel depressed, I feel low, I can't even get out of bed. Forget you telling me to go buy the smudge and smudge it, or, light camphor. And I think this is very educational as to what they can do. Something as simple as, lie in bed and breathe, or, smell your wrist with the essential oil. I think this is such an easy way out for them, so that they can take the next step.
One thing that people don't often tell you, and I'd like to demonstrate it because it's so important, is taking essential oils on your palm, rubbing it together and smelling it, because that fully hits the brain as fast as possible. And constantly inhaling it 3 or 4 times completely changes the brain waves in 5 minutes. It's that fast.
Okay, so that I didn't know, because for me it's always the points.
Yeah, you can put it on the points, but this is the fastest way to make the oil enter the bloodstream through the brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, obviously we're saving this video as well. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you. I annoy you like mad to do these sessions, but I love doing them with you. I really do. Thank you so much.
It's the need of the hour, so I'm happy.
It is. And my heart is always overwhelmed and filled with gratitude when I get you to do the sessions for us.
Thank you, Eberly, for calling me each time. Okay.
Always.
Thank you, all of you, for being part of this.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Rooks.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you for logging into Live with Vi. Subscribe to see more videos.